So we're starting in part 3 of your notebook now. Please turn to part 3, label the first page 0, write ratios at the top, and page 1 is going to be your guided notes and the ratio song. We'll come back to the ratio song at the end. So it goes like this. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. Write it with a colon, a fraction bar, or 2. Look at the words to get the correct order. The first word is the numerator, the second the denom. Ratios compare part to part or part to whole, or it might be looking for a whole to part idea. If you see a ratio, you can simplify it, and your denominator can even be a 1. So please fill in the missing words from the song that you have on your paper. All right, and then next slide. So it says ratio guided notes. You're going to watch this video and fill these in. So a ratio is a comparison. So please write the word comparison of two numbers by division. So a ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. Back to the song. The first word is the numerator, the second the denom. So for roses, and we have 5 carnations, and we have 3 daffodils, and then it says, what is the ratio of roses to the total? So I'm looking for roses to the total. So if I look at my picture, I see that in my bouquet, I have 4 roses. And the total number of flowers in my bouquet is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 in my bouquet. So you can write a ratio with a colon, a fraction bar, or the word 2. So a colon would be 4, 2, 12. A fraction bar would be 4, 2, 12. And then the word 2 would be 4, 2, 12. And as you heard me say, all of these ratios is read as 4, 2, 12. Okay, fill all that in. All right, next thing. It says write the ratio of carnations to daffodils in 3 different ways. So if I look over here to the right, these flowers here are called carnations, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, compared to daffodils, and these are the daffodils, and I have 1, 2, 3 of them. So I can write 5, 2, 3, or 5, 2, 3, or 5, 2, 3. Remember, they're all read the same way. 5 to 3, 5 to 3, 5 to 3. I put the carnations in the numerator because that's the first word in my sentence. Next one says, what is the ratio of the total number of flowers to carnations? So I look at my words and I see total is my first word and carnations is my second. So I need to remember that I have 12 flowers. So it's going to be 12, 2, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carnations. And then I could also write 12 to 5 as an improper fraction, and that's fine. You leave it that way because it's a comparison. It's not ever a mixed number because you're comparing flowers to carnations. And then the last one is 12 to 5. Remember that this is fine. Even though it's an improper fraction, it's a comparison. So it's not really a division problem, it's a comparison. And then the final one says, describe a ratio in words about the flowers that compares the one part of the bouquet to another. So this should be the word 1 right here. So one part of a bouquet to another part, write the ratio in at least 3 different ways. So you do this one on your own. So you're going to look at the bouquet and you're going to do like flowers to carnation, or flowers to carnations, or carnations to daffodils, or daffodils to carnations, or daffodils to roses, however you choose to do it. But it's part to part. So first part is part to part. And then we also did part to whole, and then we did whole to part. So part to part was comparing flowers to flowers. Part to whole was comparing flowers to the bouquet. And whole to part was comparing the bouquet to some of the flowers. Please write that in your notebook. Okay, so Nyla has a collection of 15 coins in quarters and dimes. There are 7 quarters in the correct collection. Write a ratio of quarters to dimes in at least 2 different ways. So Nyla's got 15 coins. So 15 coins, that is going to be my whole. So this is the whole. And 7 quarters, that's the part. And I'm being asked to compare quarters, which are part, to dimes, which are also part. But I don't know how many dimes I have. So if I have 15 quarters, or 15 coins rather, and 7 of them are quarters, that means the rest of them have to be dimes. So I need to do a quick subtraction, 15 minus 7, which will give me 8. So that's how many dimes I have. So the quarters to dimes. So it's going to be 7 to 8, or 7 to 8, or 7 to 8. Okay. And it says to write the ratio of dimes to total coins in 2 different ways. Well, remember, dimes was part, and there were 8 of them, and total coins was 15. So 8 to 15, or 8 to 15, or 8 to 15. Okay. So describe a ratio in words about the coins that compares the whole coin collection to one part of it. Write the ratio in 2 different ways. So we did a comparison of quarters to dimes. Now we're talking about whole to something. So you are going to write something. This one is on your own. So come up with some kind of something that's going to compare the whole collection to part of it. And then the last question is the ratio of quarters to dimes the same as the ratio of dimes to quarters? And you have to work that one out, and that's another on your own question. So here, you're going to do this one on your own. Okay, next part. This one's on your own as well. So Jada and Kaya each have a plate of apple slices and orange slices. So Jada has a plate with apples and oranges on it, and Kaya has a plate with apples and oranges on it. The ratio of apple slices to the total on Jada's plate is 4 to 11. The ratio of the total number of slices to orange slices on Kaya's plate is 13 to 6. Neither person has more than 20 slices. Who has more orange slices? Explain. So for this one, you're going to have to work this out. And so go ahead and do this, and then I will have the explanation on the next slide. But don't peek. Make sure you do it by yourself. Okay, so I wrote out what each of the girls has. Jada has 4 apples and 11 pieces of fruit. Since she has 11 pieces of fruit, that means that 7 pieces of her fruit must be oranges. And Kaya has 13 pieces of fruit, 7 of which are oranges, or 6 are oranges rather, and 7 are apples. So the question was asking us, who has more orange slices? So Jada has 7, because 11 minus 4 is 7, and Kaya has 6, so Jada with 7 has more than Kaya with 6. So J is greater than K. All right, next one. So you're now going to be practicing some ratio problems by yourself using a program called Thinking Blocks. It's a lot of fun. And as I go through the next few slides, you need to copy the block part of each problem in your notebook on page 2, part 3. All right, so I'm going to stop this and then we'll start that next part.